Hello friends, welcome back. This is Amit from Magnet, and today we are going to create this nice environment design inside Unreal Engine 5.5. So first take a look what we are going to create today. So before we start, if you are new to this channel, I recommend you to check my videos, and if you find those videos useful, please do subscribe this channel and turn the notification on. And here I like to shout out for all those people who has already joined me as a member. So if you really want to support me, you can also join me as a member. So let's get started. So first I open my Unreal Engine from here. Then I choose this film, video and live events option here. And I choose this virtual production preset. And here I name my project as tutorial and click on this create button here. And after launch, we're going to create our new level. So we go to the file and create a new level. And here we choose this empty level here. And then we click on this create. And now we're going to quickly set up our lighting. So we go to the window. Then we click on this environment light mixer. And we click on this create skylight, create directional light, create sky atmosphere, create volumetric cloud, and create height fog. Then we go down here and we click on this volumetric fog. Then we close this window, and now we're going to create our landscape. So we go to the selection mode and click on this landscape, and we don't need to change anything here, just click on this create. Then we go back to our selection mode. So we go to this option and click on this selection. And now first we're going to download the PhotoScan landscape. So for this we go to the Fab marketplace. So we go to the window, then we go to the Fab. So for the landscape reference, I am using this PhotoScan landscape model here. And this is a paid one, but if you not have this one, you can also use another PhotoScan model. The process will be very same. So I am going to add this model into my project. And after download, you will find this model under this Fab folder here. And now we're going to import this model over our landscape. So we just click and drag it over here. And as you can see that this model is quite big. So we move our camera over here. And also we're going to drag this model little bit higher here. So we just click on this axis and then just drag it little bit higher here. Okay, just like that. And in order to understand the actual size of this model, we're going to put a mannequin over here so we can understand the actual size. And in order to import the mannequin, we're going to add the third-person feature pack to our level. So we go to this add button here, and then we click on this add feature or content pack. And then we choose this third-person template and click on this add to project. And once it add, we're going to close this window. And then we go to this folder called this characters. Then we click on this mannequins folder and also go to this mesh folder. And from here, we're going to import this model. Just drag it over here. And then we move our camera close to this mannequin here. And as you can see that the size look quite right here. But if in your case the size is not right, you can just decrease or increase the scale of this model. Okay. And now as you can see that this landscape look nice. But one thing you have noticed that the texture resolution is too less here. So we're going to retexture our landscape. But one thing we have to do that we're going to separate this broken castle from this land area. So we can only texture this land area here, not this castle. So in order to separate this castle from this land area, we're going to duplicate this model. So we select this model from here and then we go to its details panel and click on this magnifying switch here to find this model into our content browser here. So here it is. Then we're going to duplicate this model from here. So we're going to press Ctrl D and then we're going to name it as a castle. Then we're going to re-import this model into our viewport. So we're going to re-import it over here. So again we go to this content drawer and then we drag this model over here. So here it is. And now we're going to cut this castle area from this land area. And in order to do that, we go to the selection mode option here and click on this modeling. And then we click on this model option here and we're going to use this plane cut. So we're going to select this plane cut here. And as you can see that this plane cut tool cut our castle here, but we want to cut the land area, not the castle. So we're going to click on this flip plane. So as you can see that it remains this castle area and cut this land area here. But also we're going to reposition this plane to refine our cut here. So we're going to drag this axis and bring it little bit higher here. And now when you satisfied with this cut, just click on this accept switch here. And after that, we back to our selection mode. So just click on this option here and click on this selection. And now we're going to reposition this castle over here. So we're going to select this castle model here. And then we just bring it over here. So we have to align this castle model over this old castle model here. And also we're going to scale this castle model little bit higher here. So we're going to uncheck those snappings here and then press R to bring the scale gizmo here and just increase the scale little bit higher here. Okay. And then we're going to realign this model here. Okay. Just like that. And you can see that there is some edges here, but we're going to fix it later on. And now we're going to put a texture over this landscape here. So we're going to download some material from the Fab marketplace. But before we do that, we're going to save our level. So we go to the file and save the level. And we're also going to save our level. So we go to this content folder here and name our level as tutorial. And we click save. Then we go to the window and click on this Fab. And I'm going to use this material. So I just click on this add to project. So this is the material. So I'm going to use this material over this land area. So I select this land area model here. Then I go to its details panel. Then we go down. And here I'm going to apply this material. So I'm going to drag this material to this material slot. So now you can see that we successfully apply this material over this landscape. But the material tiling is too less. So we're going to increase the tiling. So we're going to open this material instance. Then we go to this global option here and enable the tiling option here. And we're going to increase the tiling. So maybe we put 10 over here. So now you can see that this looks something like that. Or maybe we're going to increase the tiling a little bit more. So we're going to increase it to 20 here. Or maybe we're going to increase the tiling a little bit more. So maybe we put 30 over here. So now I think this look nice. Okay. So when you're satisfied, just click on this save and also close this. So this is our basic landscape. And we have our landscape design here. And now we're going to fill those areas by different props like trees, stones, etc. And for the asset, I'm going to download some Quixel asset from Fab Marketplace. So I'm going to use this dark ruin megascan sample and which contains so many nice assets. And in order to download this asset pack, just click on this view in launcher and in the search bar we type for dark, and here you can get this sample pack from megascan. So just click on this create project and here you have to specify the path where you want to download this asset and just click on this create. And once you download, you will find this folder called this dark ruin megascan sample. Just double click to open, and we don't need to open this project file. Just go to this content folder, just double click to open, and we're going to copy all these files from this folder to our actual project. So we're going to select all this folder and files, just press Ctrl and A, and then we copy all of this, and then we're going to paste all this asset to our actual project directory. And in order to navigate our project directory very easily, we're going to open the Epic Game Launcher again. And this is our actual project called this tutorial. So just right click on it and click on the show in folder. So this is our project directory. So we go to this content folder, just double click to open, and here we're going to paste all the files. So just Ctrl V to paste. And after copy, if we go to this content folder here, you will get all these files and folder over this content drawer here. And if you see this kind of notification, just click on this import. Okay, and now we're going to put a material over this landscape also. So we go to this content drawer here, and then we go to this starter content, and we go to this materials folder, and from here we can put this material over this landscape. So we're going to select this landscape here, then we go to its details panel, and then we go down, and here is the slot for landscape material. So we're going to use this material over this landscape. And also we're going to create a water body over this landscape area here. So for this we're going to create a plane, and on this plane we're going to apply the water material. So we go to this box option here and click on this shape and create a plane here. Okay, so this is the plane, and now we're going to increase its scale. So we select this plane model here, and then we go to its details panel, and then we go up, and we're going to click on this uniform scale switch here, and we're going to increase the size. So maybe we're going to increase it to 200 here. So in that way it will fill all this area, and then we're going to bring it down here. Okay, and also we're going to increase its scale a little bit more so it can fill all this area. So we again come over here and increase the scale to maybe 600 here. Okay, so in that way it will cover all this area. And now we're going to apply a water material over this plane here. So for the water material, we're going to this content browser again, and then we go up here, and you will find this folder called this materials. So we're going to open this folder here, then we go to this custom folder, and here from we can get this kind of water material, and on this plane I'm going to use this water material. So I just drag it over here, and as you can see that we successfully make this plane as a water body. So if we go close over here, you can see that our water look nice here. Okay, so this is how we can create this water plane. And now we go over here and design our castle area here. But before we do that, we're going to duplicate this castle to make other castles over here and there. So after selecting this castle, we're going to duplicate this castle just like that, and we place it here and there like this. So we're going to rotate this castle a little bit, and then we place it down here. Okay, just like that. Also duplicate one more time. Maybe in this time we're going to increase its scale like this, and we place it over here. So as you can see that we have multiple castles over here and there. And now we're going to put some other assets to design this ground area here. So for this we go to our content drawer again, and then we go to this MS folder here, just double click to open, and then we go to this 3D folder here, and also we're going to enable a static mesh filter by clicking over here. And if you not have the static mesh filter over here, just go to this 3-line option here, and then just enable the static mesh filter from here. Okay, and now we go down to get the asset. So we're going to use this one, just drag it over here, And as you can see that this asset is quite big here, so we're going to decrease its scale. So we press R and then we decrease the scale like this and we rotate it into this side, then we place it here. Okay, just like that. Maybe we're going to decrease the scale a little bit more and place it here. And now we're going to duplicate this asset multiple times to fill this all area. So now you can see that this look really awesome here. Okay, and now we're going to design this small broken castle here. So for this we're going to use some other assets. So we're going to use some asset from the same folder here. So we go down here. So we're going to use this broken brick wall asset. Just drag it over here. And we place it over this wall here. Okay, just like that. And now we're going to fill all this area by using the same asset here. So we just duplicate it multiple times to fill this all area here. Okay, so as you can see that I use the same asset to cover this broken castle here. And now you can see that it look really awesome here. So this is how we can fill all this area by using different assets. But before we doing the filling process, we're going to put some trees over here and there. And for this, again, we're going to download some asset from the Fab marketplace. So we go to the window, then again open Fab. And for the vegetation, I'm going to use this European hornbeam assets. So we're going to add this asset into our project. And once you download, you will find this folder called this European hornbeam. So if you double click to open this folder and enable the static mesh filter here, you will see all this tree model available here. So we're going to use those trees to populate our land area here. But before we do that, we're going to put a camera to our scene, and also we're going to create a sequence for our scene. So we go to the box option here, then we go to the cinematics and we create a cine camera actor. And also we go to this option here and click on this add level sequence. And we're going to name our sequence as tutorial sequence and we save. And in this sequence, we're going to add our camera. So we go to the outliner section and search for our camera. Here it is. And then we're going to drag our camera to our sequence here. And we're going to reposition our camera. Here it is. And also we're going to do some settings for our camera. So first we go to this Cine Camera Actor, and under this we found this camera component. And first we're going to decrease the camera focal length. So we put 15 over here. So you can see that we get a very wide angle camera here. And also after selecting this Cine Camera Actor, we go to its details panel here. Then we go down and we go to this film back option. Then we go to this drop down menu and we select the 16:9 DSLR preset. So in that way, we also get a very wide angle lens here. So this is the camera setting we do for now. And also we're going to do some other camera settings later on. And now we're going to put the trees over here and there. So for the tree, we're going to use the foliage system to populate the tree over this landscape. So for this, we go to the selection mode. Then we select the foliage option here. And here, we're going to put the trees that we want to put over here and there. So we go to our content browser again and we select the trees from here. So maybe we're going to select this one, and maybe this and this one. And we're going to add those trees to this foliage system. So drag it over here, and then we're going to start painting the trees from here. So first we're going to select all those trees here, and we go to this paint density, we set it to 1, then we go down, and in this density option under this painting, we're going to set it to maybe 10 here, and also we go down here and we uncheck this option called this align to normal. Okay, and then we're going to start painting from here. So as you can see that the density look nice here. Okay, so as you can see that when we put the tree, our scene look very different here. Or maybe we delete some of the tree from here. So we press and hold the shift key, and then we just click to delete unwanted trees from these sides here. Okay, so this is all depends on you that how much tree you want in your scene. So when you're satisfied with the tree, we go back to our selection mode. So we go to this option here and we select our selection mode. And now we're going to set up our lighting little bit more. So we go to the sequencer tab here. Then we select our camera component. Then we go to its details panel, and in the search bar we type for exposure. So here it is. And we turn on this metering mode. And we change this metering mode method from automatic to manual. And also we go to this exposure compensation, activate this option, and we increase the value to maybe 10 here. Okay, just like that. Then we come over here to this current aperture value and we decrease the value. Okay. Then also we go to this outliner section and we search for our directional light. So here it is. We select the directional light and we go to the search bar and clear the field here. Then we go down and expand this light option here, and we go down to the source angle, and here we're going to increase the angle. So if we increase it, you can see that our shadow becomes softer here. So if we increase the value, we can get little bit of softer shadow here. So if we come over here, you can see the difference here. So here you can see that our shadow is very diffuse here, and if you reset the value, you can get more strong shadow here. But we want very diffuse shadow, so we're going to increase the value here. And then we come over here, and also we go down and we go to this indirect light intensity option here, and we're going to increase the value as well. So we're going to increase the value here. So in that way, we will get more light in the shadow area here. So this all depends on you that how much you want the light in the shadow areas. Okay. So I think this look nice for now. And also we go to this camera aperture again, and we're going to increase the value here a little bit to darken our scene a little bit more. Okay. Just like that. And then we're going to adjust our fog a little bit more. So we go to this exponential height fog option here. Then we go up. And here we find this fog density. So we're going to decrease the value. And also we go to this fog height fall off. We're going to increase the value as well. So we get less fog in our scene here. But sometimes the foggy look nice, but it's all depends on you that how much fog you want in your scene. So if you want a clear scene, you can do like this. Okay. So we also going to increase the indirect light intensity a little bit more, because you can see that the shadow area is little too dark. So we go to the directional light option again. Then we go down here and we're going to increase the value. Okay. So I think this look nice here. And now if you change our light direction here like this, by pressing Ctrl and L and move your mouse, you can easily change the light position here. Maybe we can increase the fog little bit more. So we go to the exponential height fog again and increase the fog density here. And also decrease the fog height fall off. Okay. So I think this look nice here. Okay. And now we're going to put some asset to this edge here. So for this again, we're going to download some asset from the Fab. So I'm going to download some Quixel assets. So if you go to this Quixel library from Fab and search for Tundra, you will find those assets. So I'm going to download and add those assets to my project here. So I have downloaded those assets. So if you go to this Fab folder and then you go to the Megascan and then you go to this 3D folder, you will find those assets which you downloaded from the Fab. So if we enable the static mesh filter from here, you can visualize all the assets in a single place here. And now we're going to use those assets to design this area here. So first I'm going to use this one. So I just bring it over here. And as you can see that this asset is quite big. So we're going to decrease its scale. So we press R and we use the scale gizmo to decrease the scale here. And we also going to rotate this. And we reposition it here like this. Okay, so now you can understand the idea that we have the blueprint here, and now we're going to put some asset to make the extra details over here and there. Okay, so we're going to duplicate the same asset over here. Okay, so now you can see that how I designed this area here by using those assets. So this is very simple. Just put the asset into different places and you will get a nice result here. So now you can understand that what I am trying to do here. I am going to make a road here, and now I'm going to make this road little bit nicer here. So for this again I'm going to download some asset from the fab. So for the path I'm going to use the Japanese Park stone floor. Just add to my project, and also download this asset called this forest terrain. So once download, we will get this asset and this one. So I'm going to use these two assets to make this roadway here. So first I'm going to put this one. So we just bring it over here and we increase its scale little bit more. And decrease the scale from the Z axis here little bit to make it little bit of flatten here. Okay, just like that. And now we're going to duplicate this asset multiple times to make this road surface here. Okay, so as you can see that I put those ground asset to make this road here, and I am only designing this area here, but in my actual video I make the road all the way over here and also make other road from here. But for this tutorial I am only designing this area here to show you how I done this and also make this thing little bit quicker here. But if you want to make this environment, you have to design all this area by using these ground assets here. And now over this ground asset, I am using this tile asset over here to make the road little bit more nicer here. So I am using this asset over here, and as you can see that this asset look nice here. So I am going to duplicate this asset multiple times to make the road here. Okay, so now you can see that how I make this roadway here. So if we change our light position here, so if we press Ctrl and L and move our mouse like this, you can see that our road look really amazing here. But as you can see that this side look very empty here. So we're going to put some railings over here. So for the road railing, I'm using this stone wall asset from the Quixel library. So I'm going to add those into my project. So this is the asset, and now I'm going to use this asset to here to make this road railing. So I am just put this asset over here. Okay, just like that. And now I'm going to duplicate this same asset into multiple times to cover all this area here. Okay, so as you can see that I place this railing asset to this side, and you can see that this look nice here. Okay, and now we're going to design this area by using this stone asset here. So for this, again, I'm going to duplicate this stone asset here. So this all depends on you that which stone asset you want, because we have multiple stone assets here. So you can use anything you want from here. So I'm using this one and I place this asset over here. Okay, and now we're going to put some ground vegetations like grasses. So for this, again, I'm going to download some grass assets from Fab. Okay, so these are the grass assets that I have downloaded from Fab, and also I am download some other grasses. So if I go to this plants folder here, and then if I enable the static mesh filter, you can see that I have downloaded so many grass assets from Fab. So before we use those grass, we're going to convert all those assets as a nanite mesh. So I'm going to select all of this asset from here, and then we right click on it and go to this nanite option and click on this enable nanite for 36 meshes. And after the conversion, we're going to use the foliage system to populate all these grasses over here and there. So for this, we go to the selection mode, then we select this foliage system here, and here we're going to add some grasses from here. So first, I'm going to use these 4 grasses from here. So I select all of these 4 grass here, and then we drag it over here. And then we go down here, and we're going to increase the density from here. So the default value is 100. We're going to set it to maybe 400 here. And also I'm going to increase the scale of these grasses little bit. So in the scale X option, we go to the max option and we increase it to 1.5. And now I'm going to start painting from here. So I place my camera over here, and then I'm going to paint some grasses over here. And maybe we don't want the large grasses here. So maybe we're going to select these grasses and uncheck this grass here. And then I'm going to painting. So you can see that it doesn't have these large grasses here. Okay. And in order to delete only these large grasses from here, we select only this one and also deselect the previous one here. And then press and hold the shift key in the keyboard. And then if we just paint, we can delete the unwanted grasses from here. Okay, just like that. And once we deleted, again we deselected this one and select these 3 grasses here, and then again we start painting. Okay, so as you can see that I covered this area by those grasses, and again I am only designing this small area here, but when you do it you have to design all this area by using the same technique here. But for the sake of this tutorial I am only focusing on this area so I can finish it little bit quicker. And now we're going to put some large grasses here and there. So for this, again we deselect all of these three grasses from here and only select this large grass here. And now we're going to paint some of these areas here. So maybe we can paint only few areas to populate these large grasses here and there. Okay, so now as you can see that when we put these large grasses in different places, it look more dynamic now. Okay, so once we satisfied with this foliage system, we're going to back from this mode here. So we're going to this foliage mode system here and we go back to selection mode. Okay, so now you can see that our scene looks something like this. So as you can see that we eventually transform our scene into a very beautiful scene here. Okay, and now we're going to put some trees here and there to make this area a little bit more nicer here. So again we go to uncheck the static mesh option here, and then we go to this European hornbeam folder again, and again we enable the static mesh filter. And now we're going to put some trees manually here and there. So maybe we put some tree over here. So we're going to use this one. So just place it here. And now as you can see that this look nice here. Okay, so likewise we're going to put some other trees here and there. So maybe use this one. Okay, so as you can see that we put some of this tree here and there manually, and you can see that this look awesome now. Okay, and now we're going to put some of these ground assets like falling sticks, some falling leaves here and there, and also small rocks over here and there. So for the ground asset, I am using this Megascan forest path, but unfortunately this asset is not available in Fab. But I have this asset to my library, so I'm going to use this one. But if you have any asset similar to this, you can use this. And once we add the asset, we're going to deselect the static mesh filter from here, and we go to this content folder here, and here we can find this folder called this MS Forest Tute. Just double click to open, and then we enable the static mesh filter again, and here is all the assets. First, I'm going to put some small sticks over here and there, and for this again I'm going to use the foliage system. So I go to the selection mode and go to this foliage system here, and then we select only those sticks from here. So we select all of these sticks, and then we're going to add it over here. And then we're going to select all of these assets from here by pressing Ctrl and A and uncheck all of these assets and only select those sticks and then just select them. So in that way we're going to make sure that we only select those sticks here. And now we're going to start painting here. And now we're going to put some falling leaves by using the same technique here. So first we're going to deselect all of these sticks from here. So maybe use this one. So just bring it over here. And now we're going to start painting here. And now when we're satisfied with this foliage system, we go back to our selection mode again. So we go to this foliage mode and select the selection mode here. Okay, so as you can see that our scene look something like this. So if we change our directional light position here And now we're going to bring some of the small plants over here and there. So for this, again, we deselect the static mesh filter. Then we go to this content folder here and we go to this European hornbeam folder. Then we enable the static mesh filter again. And here from we can get some of the small plants here. So we're going to use them. So maybe use this one. Okay. And also we're going to download some other small plants from Fab. So I have added some of the small plants. So if I go to this plants folder here, you can see that I have added some of these plants here. So first I'm going to start from this ferns here. So if I go over here and put this fern here, you can see that you can manually put those ferns here and there, or you can use the foliage system. So I'm going to use the foliage system to populate those ferns over here and there. So we go to the selection mode and go to the foliage system and we select some of these ferns from here. So maybe use this one and these 5 ferns from here, and we're going to add it over here. And again, we're going to make sure that we only select those ferns and not other assets from here. So for this, again, we're going to select all of these assets and we uncheck the markers, and then we select only those ferns from here, these 5 ferns, and select them. And also we're going to decrease the density a little bit down. So we're going to put it 50 over here, and I'm going to start painting here. Okay, and then we go back to this foliage system, and now we're going to put some other plants. So maybe use this one. So it will be very time consuming that when you put those plants over here and there manually, but sometimes it look nice when you put it manually. So maybe we use this one. So this is very small, so we're going to increase its scale. And after you put those small plants, you can see that our scene look very different now. And now we're going to design some of this area to show you that how I design this whole area here. So I start from this one, and for the design, I'm going to download some different props from Fab. So for the different props, I'm going to download this asset from Megascan, which is called this Bazaar, and I'm going to add this to my project. And after download the asset, we'll find this folder called the Scene Bazaar Volume 1. So inside this folder, if you turn on the static mesh filter, we will get all these assets. So I'm going to use those assets to design this area. But before we do that, we're going to put some ground asset first. So for this, we go to this content folder here. And here we get all the static mesh that we have in our project. So we're going to use this tone asset. Okay. So as you can see that this blends very nicely here. And also I'm going to put some grasses over here by using the foliage system. So I go to the selection mode, then we go to this foliage, and I'm going to use those grasses. So I'm going to select this one and these three grasses here. So just activate those grasses. Then we go down here and we're going to decrease the scale. So I reset the scale value here, and also I increase the density. And now I'm going to start painting here. And also I'm going to put some falling leaves here. So I deselect all those grasses and I selected these falling leaves here. And also I'm going to increase the density. So I increase it to 600 again. And then I'm start painting here. Okay. Then also I'm going to use some falling sticks here. So again I'm selecting those sticks here. So when you're done with this foliage, we go back to our selection mode. And then again we're going to put some other different assets here and there. So maybe use this one. Okay, so as you can see that I put some assets over here and there, and also put those grasses and some falling leaves and the falling sticks over here and there, and also put some small plants over here and there. So you can see that this look really awesome here. And now I'm going to put some decal to get some extra details to this scene here. So we also have some decals from this pack. So if we uncheck the static mesh filter here and we go to this MS folder here, and here is the decals folder. So if we open this folder, so we have those decals here. And if we enable this material instance filter from here, and if you not have this material instance filter over here, go to this 3-line option, and then we go to this material and just check this material instance filter from here. So these are the decals that I'm going to use here. So maybe use this one. So it will create a little bit of wet looking here. So we're going to rotate these decals like this. Okay, just like this. So we have these nice details here. Okay, so here from you can see that this creates a nice wet look here. Okay, so as you can see that with these decals, this castle look very organic here. So likewise, we're going to put some decals to our road here. So if we come over here, so we can use this one or this one to our road here. So like this. So you can see that it creates a nice wet look here. Okay. So now you can see that with these decals, this area look more organic now. Okay. So this is how we can design this scene. And now we're going to do some work over this castle area. So first I'm going to increase the scale of this castle because it look very small here. So if we press R and then we increase the scale of this castle here. Okay, just like that. And also I'm going to put some trees over here manually. Okay, so now you can see that our castle look nice and big here. So I'm going to put some grasses over here as well. And then also we're going to put some random rocks over here and there. Okay, so this is how I designed the whole area here. And now I'm going to put some distance mountain to our scene. So for the distance mountain, I'm using this landscape background asset here. And after download, we uncheck the static mesh filter. And we have this folder called this photorealistic backgrounds. Just double click to open. Then we go to this mesh folder and we're going to use the winter version here. So we just double click to open. And from here, we're going to open any folder. So this one. So I'm going to use these mountains. So we come over here and we're going to use this one. We're going to increase its scale. And also we're going to increase the water scale here. So we select this water plane and then we go to its details panel here and we're going to increase the scale. So again we put another 0 over here. So we can cover all this area here. So this is how we can design this scene here. And now in my original video, I put some tiles to this roof here. So I'm going to show you that where from I get the tiles model here. So this is the tile model that I'm going to use for the roof. And I'm downloading this asset from the Sketchfab. And in order to download this asset, go down here and click on this download this 3D model. And I'm going to use the FBX version here. So download it from here. And once we download, we get this zip file here. So we're going to unzip it first. And inside this folder, we have the source and the textures file here. So we're going to import those assets to our project. So for this, we go to this content folder here. And then we're going to create a new folder here. So we right click and create a new folder. And here we're going to name it as a FBX model. Then we're going to open this folder. And here we're going to import the asset. So here it is. First we go to the source folder here. So this is the FBX model. We're going to import it over here. Just drag it over here. And we don't need to change anything here. Just click on this import. And also we're going to need the texture file. So again we go to this folder. So these are the textures file. Just double click to open. And we're going to import all these 4 texture file here. So select all of them and just drag it over here. And then first we're going to texture our asset. So we're going to open this material here. And first we're going to delete all of this texture from here. And now we're going to put our own texture here. So first I'm going to use this diffuse map. So that bring it over here. And we connect it with this base color here. Then we have this ambient occlusion map. Just bring it over here. And we connect it with this ambient occlusion slot here. Then we have this normal map. Bring it over here. And we connect it with this normal channel here. And lastly we have this roughness map. Just bring it over here. And connect it with this roughness channel here. And then we're going to click on this apply. And we save this. Then we close this window. So this is our roof asset. And now we're going to put this roof asset over here. So we just bring it over here. Okay, so you can see that I put those tiles over this roof here, and I'm just doing this side, but you have to do it in both sides. I'm just show you that how you can put those tiles over here. Okay, so this is how you can design this whole area here. So I hope you get the idea that how I make this whole scene here. Okay, so this is how I design my actual video here. So I go through all the steps so you can understand that how we can design this kind of scene here. And now I'm going to show you that how we can create a nice camera animation here. So for this we go to this sequencer tab here, and maybe we start from here. And in order to make a 10 seconds long video, first we go to this FPS tab and go to this drop down menu, and we go to the show time as, and we select the seconds. So in default it's set to 5 seconds. So if we go over here and put 10 seconds here, so this is our 10 seconds marking, and we're going to end our time over here. So we just click on this red bracket here, and also we're going to extend our camera cut. Okay, just like that. And also we put some extra warm-up frames over here. Okay, so we go to this very first frame here, and from here we're going to create our camera animation. So we go to this camera component, and then we go to its transform switch here, and we make a keyframe here by clicking here. And also we go to this keyframe and right click on it, and then we go to this keyframe interpolation method. We select this linear, and also we go to this default keyframe interpolation method process. We select linear, and also we check this auto keyframe switch here. Then we go to the very end frame here, and we move our camera over here. Okay, and now if we play, you can see that we can create this kind of nice camera animation here. And now I'm going to show you that how you can render it in a high quality. So for the rendering, we're going to use the movie render queue plugin. So for this, we go to the window, then we go to the cinematics, and we have this movie render queue plugin here. And if you not have this plugin over here, go to the edit option here, then we go to the plugins, and in the search bar we type for movie. So here is the plugin, and when you enable it, you have to restart your engine. So we close this window, and we go to the window, then go to the cinematics, and go to the movie render queue. Then we go to this render tab here, and we have to specify our actual sequence. So in this case, our sequence name is tutorial sequence. Just select it from here. Then we go to the settings tab and click on this unsafe config. And first we're going to delete this JPEG sequence. So just delete it from here. Then we go to the settings, and we add this anti-aliasing settings here. And in this temporal sample count, we're going to put 16 here, and also click on this override anti-aliasing. And then also click on this warm-up frame here. And then again we go to the settings, we go to the camera, and we go to the shutter timing. We choose this frame close option here, and then also click on this overscan percentage override. Then again go to the settings, go to the console variables, and we're going to put some console variables. So we go to the console variables tab, click on this plus switch, and here we put the screen percentage. So we type r.screen, and here you will find these console variables called this screen percentage, and I put 100 here, but you can also put 150 or 200, but make sure that your system can handle this. So my system only handle this 100, so I put 100 over here. And then also go to the settings, and you go to the high resolution, and also enable this override subsurface scattering. Then again go to the settings, go to the game overrides, and we don't need to change anything here. Then again go to the settings, and use the EXR format, so I choose this EXR sequence from here. Then finally go to the output. So this is the output directory, and here from you can choose that where you want to save your render. And then we go to this use custom frame rate option here, enable this. So this way we can also specify that which frame rate you want. So I always pick this 23.976. So that's it. And then just click on this accept, and then just click on this render local, and your file will be ready. And now I'm going to show you that how you can combine all those EXR sequence into a video file, and also show you some post processing. So for the compositing, I am using After Effects. So here I'm going to bring the EXR sequence. So I go to the file and go to the import, and go to the file. So here is all the EXR sequence. So we select only the first one and we check this option called this open EXR sequence. And then we click on this import. And before we create the composition, we right click on this sequence. Then we go to this interpret footage and click on this main. And here from we can assign the actual frame rate. So I rendered the sequence at a frame rate of 23.976. So I put this value over here and click on this OK. And now we're going to create the composition by using this sequence. So I drag this sequence over this composition switch here. So in that way we create this composition here. So this is the render from my actual scene. So I go to this resolution settings and we set it to full here. So this is the scene. And now we're going to do some color correction here. So we go to this layer, then we go to the new and create a adjustment layer. And in this layer, we're going to put the level settings. So I go to the effect, then go to the color correction and put a level effect here. And in this level effect, we're going to change this slider here. So I place this slider over here. So we can increase the contrast. And also we go to this slider and we place this slider over here. Okay. And then again, we're going to put in another adjustment layer. So I go to the layer, go to the new and create an adjustment layer again. Then we go to the effect, go to the color correction. And in this time, we're going to put this hue and saturation effect here. And then we're going to increase the saturation little bit. So I go to the master saturation and we increase the saturation here. Okay. And then also we go to this slider here and we change this color tint here a little bit like this. And also we go to this green channel here. So we go to the drop down and go to this green channel here. And we going to change the green color tone here a little bit. And then also we going to create another adjustment layer. So I go to the layer, go to the new and create an adjustment layer. And in this layer, we're going to put a vignette effect. So I go to the effect and presets. And in the search bar, we type for vignette. So this is the CC vignette effect. Just drag it to this layer here. And then we're going to increase the amount. And then we go to the pin highlights. We're going to increase it all the way 100. Okay. So this is how you can also color correct your scene. And once we're happy with this color correction, we're going to render this. So I go to this composition and click on this add to render queue. Then we go to this output module and click on this lossless. And here from you can change the format. So I'm using this QuickTime format here and then hit OK. And then you go to this output and you have to specify the path where you want to save your video. And then just click on this render. So this is how you can render this EXR sequence into a video file. So this is it. And this is how I create my actual video. So I hope you really get the idea. And if you like this video, I recommend you to check my other videos. And if you like those videos, please do subscribe this channel and turn the notification on. So we will see in my next video. So till then, take care and bye bye.